elections, as we know, elections are very, very important, and they are the backbone of the Indian democracy. So now, and we also know that in India, we follow the parliamentary system of government. Parliamentary system means we have two houses at the parliament, that is the lower house and upper house. Lower house is Lok Sabha, upper house is Rajya Sabha. So now when for these two houses, we elect our representatives, but the people elect the direct through general elections, we elect the representatives, the members of parliament to the Lok Sabha. These people are termed as the public representatives or people's representatives. So this is a parliamentary, as we have the parliamentary system of government. Now, this is an introduction about the elections and election commission. Now we'll go into the core topic, that is organization and management of election commission. Now, regarding this, the elections are administered. The elections are administered and supervised by the Election Commission. Now, Election Commission is a permanent constitutional body. It is a permanent constitutional body. What do we mean by constitutional body? Constitutional body means it has, in the constitution only, we have a provision to form or to establish the election commission. So the functions, the powers and functions, the working, everything, the working of the organizational structure, everything is being embedded in the constitution only. Hence, the election commission is termed as a constitutional body, and it is a permanent constitutional body. Now, elections are administered and supervised. That is, what do we mean by administered? Administered means the elections are being administered, means conducted. The elections are conducted, and also when they are being conducted, they are also being supervised. Hence, the election commissions, the most important we can say aspect is management. Management is the elections are being administered and as well as supervised by the election commission. And the next important thing is it consists of chief election commissioners, one chief election commissioner and two election commissioners. Now, these two, the election commissioners and the chief election commissioners and the election commission, they are being appointed by the president. The president of India appoints them, the chief election commissioner as well as the election commissioners. Now, the chief election commissioner will be one, and he will be assisted by two election commissioners. Now, all of them will be appointed by the President of India with the consultations with the Prime Minister. Means the decision making will be vested with the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister selects them and the President appoints them. As we know, in the last class, we discussed about the Prime Minister and the President, where we discussed that the real executive, that is the decision making, will be vested with the Prime Minister only, and the President is only the nominal head. So the Prime Minister has more authority compared to the President, but ultimately the appointments, everything is being done by the president, as he is the constitutional head. Now, when he is the president is the constitutional head, it is as we know, the election commission is a constitutional body. Hence, the chairman, the chief election commissioner and the election commissioners are being appointed by the president only. Now, coming to the appointment and tenure of the election commissioners. Now, coming to this, the appointment, as I told you, the president appoints the chief election commissioner as well as the 2 election commissioners, and these will be, now these chief election commissioner and the election commissioners will be all of them will be senior IAS officers, that is senior bureaucrats, and moreover they might be mostly they select the retired senior bureaucrats because they have more years of knowledge and experience with them, hence they are being selected because they have under their tenure, under them they have minimum 30 to 35 years of experience, which is very vast, and they in their service they might have served the country in many departments, hence they have more capability and more knowledge in holding this important positions. So it is. So the senior bureaucrats or the senior IAS officers, or we can say the retired IAS officers will be selected and will be made chief election commissioners or the election commissioners. Now coming to the tenure of what do we mean by tenure? Tenure means the term of office, means in how many years they will be in office after appointment. After appointment, the chief election commissioner's tenure, that is the office term of office, will be 6 years or 65 years. 6 years means 6 years or 65 years. Now, what does that mean? This explains us that the election commissioner might, he can serve in the office for 6 years continuously. And after that, he can step down, or else if he attains an age of 65 years, then he can step down. Means whichever comes early in the span, in the term of the election commissioner, whichever comes, if he completes 6 years of service as an election commissioner, he should step down. Or we can say that if the election commissioner attains the age of 65 years, he can also he can step down. So we can say that the chief election commissioner and the election commissioners are very, very important in conducting the elections. Now, these elections, as we all know, these elections are being conducted right from the general elections to president, vice president, and the state elections. That is, all the elections which are being pertaining to the Indian government or Indian system, all these elections are being conducted by the Election Commission only. Now, after the appointment and tenure, we have the removal. Now, what do we understand by the term removal? Removal means removing from office. Removing from office. That is how, in what conditions are these chief election commissioners removed from office? That is, if they show any partiality or any favoritism, or if they are involved in any type of malpractices, or showing any favoritism, or indulging into any other activities, then they can be removed from office. Now, they cannot be removed. The chief election commissioner, if he is being seen, or if he is being caught to be going for malpractices or showing any favoritism towards any person, he cannot be removed as and when needed, or as and when there is a procedure to be followed to remove the election commissioner. Likewise, the Supreme Court Chief Justice. That is, because these are the people who take care of the constitution and are abided by the constitutional laws, and they are having the we can say that the constitution might be having more of importance as we follow the rules and regulations and the laws of the our constitution only. So it is very important for the removal, if the people, or if the chief election commissioner has to be removed, there is a procedure to be followed. Now, what is the procedure which has to be followed? That is, if he is being found guilty, then a resolution has to be passed in the parliament. A resolution has to be passed in the parliament, and when there is a 2/3 majority, that is, if the parliamentarians vote for the removal of the chief election commissioner, then 2/3 majority, there should be a 2/3 majority in the parliament, then only he can be removed. So it is not easy for a chief election commissioner to be removed from office, and moreover, there is we don't have so much of a experience, or we did not see that much in the removal of this any chief election commissioner, whereby they are not being removed in the process of showing any malpractices, or showing any favoritisms to any people or any person. So it is very, very important to and it is, as I was talking, that the work and the authority and the responsibility of the chief election commissioner is a very, very responsible job, and it is a very, very I can say that it has an responsibility, and it is a duty of him to take care of the constitution and abide by the constitution. Now, after this, we will talk about the powers and functions of the election commission. The most important functions of this election commission are, to name a few. We can say that it supervises, directs, controls all elections. Now, what do we understand by the term to supervise? Supervise is, when the elections are held, it will take care of all the supervision, that is, how it has to be conducted, when it has to be conducted, where it has to be conducted, whom are to be involved, because as we know that new governments will be formed after these elections. So the state governments will not be involved in this. The state governments and the people, the politicians or the general public are not involved in these in the process of these elections. Only the government officials, who are responsible and who have the authority to take part in the elections. Okay, whoever wants to cannot be part of this election process or the conducting the election process. So only the people who are government servants, and who work either in the central government or in the state government, they are only being considered in the process of these elections, and they are given the responsibility. We see when you all also might have seen, when the elections start or when the election procedures start, the government teachers, the government lecturers, or the government officials of all the departments, and many of them, they take part in this election. That is, they go for door-to-door survey of the people. They take the responsibility of conducting. They take care of the EVMs, the electronic counting machines, voting machines, and they count the votes. All this is being done by the Election Commission and the government officials only. That is, who serve the government. The people, who are these government officials? The people who serve the government, or the people or the employees who are in the government sector, they are termed as government officials. So because they are associated with the government and they are accountable to the government, hence they are, because this is all the confidential work which is being carried out, hence they are only taken into consideration and they are only given the authority and responsibility in conducting these elections. So the first and foremost one is to supervise, to direct. To direct is when the elections have to be conducted, where they have to be conducted, whom to be involved, whom not to be involved, all these, to directing, giving all the rules and regulations, that is directing. Then controlling. Controlling is how the elections have to be done, who are to be involved, which places they have to be involved, all these, the controlling of the elections will be done by because the state governments and the central governments are not involved in the Election Commission. Because the state government consists of the public representatives whom we are electing. So there is a chance for showing favoritism. There is a chance for we see when the elections start that the people get involved, the politicians and the parliamentarians or whoever are there in the just to gain power, to form the government. They try to pacify people. They try to give gifts to people just to gain power. So this all has to be avoided. To avoid all this, the Election Commission comes out and takes the control of the governments. That is, it might be if the elections are conducted at the central level or at the state levels, that is when the general elections are held, or at the state level, state elections are held, it is the prime responsibility of the Election Commission to take responsibility of the conducting of all these elections. So the first and foremost function, power and function of this, it is the Election Commission supervises, directs, and as well as controls all the elections. Now coming to the second one, to set down the Election Commission sets down rules and general rules for elections. That is, we all know that there are some general rules for elections. That is, a person who attains an 18 years of age has to get enrolled as a voter. Then a voter card has to be issued to the voter. Then if there is any name change or anything, address change, there will be some forms in the municipalities or in the websites of the Election Commission, which I have some rules and regulations, how to vote, whom to select, how you have to go for conducting the elections. That is, these are all being framed. The rules and regulations are being framed by the Election Commission only. Now, when we take up, when there is a time for elections also, the Election Commission comes out with some laws or rules that before 5 they have to end the elections, or if there is a troublesome area in conducting the elections, then the politicians should not be visible in that area. No authority should be shown, or the voters should not be addressed. All these, there are many things which come up when the elections are held. So it is very important for the Election Commissioner. We can say that the Election Commission plays a very, very important role in conducting these elections. So that is a second important power and function of the Election Commission. Now coming to the third one, constituencies and electoral rolls. Now, what do you understand by constituencies? Constituencies means the area or the places where the elections are being, that is a member of parliament and a member of legislative assembly. So an area where the number of voters are there, that will become a constituency, that is a delimited area, limitations, a territory we can say. A territory will be divided. A place can be divided and made into number of constituencies, that is small territories. Now, to have fair elections, the Election Commission goes for delimitation, that is drawing, that is framing or forming a small territories or small constituencies to have fair elections. And it is a very good opportunity for the voters also, and as well as the people who are elected, to take care of that area. That is, for example, if we take a member of legislative assembly, MLA, and MLA, if a person is being elected from a small area, as an MLA, he will be responsible for that area, because that area people have given him the power to take decisions on behalf of them. Hence, he will be taking care of that area people only, and the people also can address their problems to him directly, and they need not go to the chief minister or a minister. They can directly address their problems to this member of legislative assembly. So constituency is an area or a small territory where the voters, we can say the voters are given the power to elect their representatives. If the area is large enough, then the person may not be able to. Now, for example, before Telangana state was formed, we had the unified Andhra Pradesh. Now, after the state was formed, we had some districts only 11 districts we had. 10 to 11 districts we had. But what did the government do? It has divided the districts into small districts. It has divided that 11 districts into 31 districts. That is, it has made small areas. Why? Because to have better administration, better governance, that is better to take care of the people in a better manner. So likewise, the Election Commission also delimitates, that is this dividing the area, limiting an area is called delimitation. So a constituency is a delimited area where an MLA will be representing that area, and the number of voters will be calculated, and that is called a constituency. And electoral rolls are the voters, the number of voters. Now, who is an voter? Voter is a person who is above 18 years of age, who attains an age above 18 years of age, and when he gets enrolled as a voter in the Election Commission, then he will become a voter of the country. When he is being registered as a voter in the Election Commission, then only he will become a voter. If you are above 18 years of age and if you did not get enrolled as an voter, then you will not be considered as an voter and you will not be given the voting right. So after attainment of 18 years, when you cross 18 years of age, you have to get enrolled and you have to be in the rolls. Rolls means it is the list of the electoral voters. The electoral rolls is the list of the electoral voters of each area. So if you go to the Election Commission website and if you click the area, then you will get the area and you can check your name in that area. So this is transparency, to have a clear, transparent image, to show the citizens how clear the working of this Election Commission is. It is a clear-cut indication. So the most important function is it divides the constituencies and the electoral rolls. That is, every year new voters add to this electoral rolls, and this list of electoral votes is being released by the Election Commission. Now, then the third important one is election symbols. Now, a political party which wants to contest the elections, it has to approach the Election Commission and it has to get registered. That political party has to register itself in the Election Commission. Then after that, after the Election Commission recognizes that party, then only that party can be called as a political party, a recognized political party. Before the recognition of the Election Commission, it cannot be called as a political party or a recognized political party, and it cannot, if it does not get recognition from the Election Commission, then it cannot contest the elections. It cannot contest the elections also. So, and this election, what is this election symbol? Now, we all know that each political party has a election symbol. Now, what is the need of this election symbol? Election symbol represents the political party, because as we know, in India, there are more number of uneducated citizens, and illiteracy is more in India. So the people who are enrolled as voters, who have attained 18 years of age, it is not mandatory that they should be educated, and they should read the political party name. And these symbols help the illiterate people or the senior citizens who might not be able to read the political parties, or it gives a recognition, we can see. Now, if BJP is there, BJP or Congress, the Congress symbol is hand. So if you see a hand symbol or symbol, then everybody recognizes it. Now, BJP symbol is a lotus. So if anybody sees that lotus, they will come to know that this is a BJP party. So likewise, now, so this symbol gives a recognition, a resemblance to itself, to that political party. Now, there will be a procedure for this also. That is, the political party should choose from the symbols which are being given by the Election Commission. Okay, whatever they choose, and if they go and submit it to the Election Commission, and if already somebody has selected that, then the Election Commission will give the political party an option to choose another symbol. So likewise, then the political party will choose the symbol, and that symbol will be allotted to that party, and for permanent, that symbol will be a recognition to that political party. Hence, we can say that the Election Commission allocates or gives the symbols to these political parties. Then the next aspect in this is demarcation. As I told you, demarcation of constituencies. Demarcation, that is drawing borders, that is limiting the area and creating more number of constituencies, that is called as demarcation of constituencies, to increase the number of MLAs. Now, because the density of population and the population of the state is considered in dividing the constituencies. So the density of population and as well as the number of people, the number of voters or the population in that state. Based on the population and the density of population, the constituencies are demarcated. That is another important aspect of Election Commission. Then, as I told you, preparation of electoral rolls. That is, every year we know that new people add to the electoral rolls. That is, whoever attains 18 years of age or who did not get enrolled, or it might be any case. So every year enrollment will be done. So the preparation of these electoral rolls before the elections, the Election Commission releases it. Hence, this is another important function of the Election Commission. Then recognition of the political parties. That is, the recognition, as I told you, now, a political party, when it is being formed, it cannot be called as a recognized political party unless and until it is being recognized by the Election Commission. So it has to get recognized. It should submit an application. It should follow the rules and regulations and laws of the Election Commission and guidelines of the Election Commission. So pertaining all these, the Election Commission scrutinizes the authenticity, the importance of it, the members, who are the members in it, what is the importance of that, how much name, fame that political party has, and there are many important aspects which have to be considered. Then only the Election Commission recognizes a political party. Then that recognizing that political party we can say that recognizing that political party helps that political party to contest the elections. That is, it is this Election Commission gives a clear information or a clearance to contest the elections to that political party. Now, we will talk about the election process. Now, till now we discussed about the introduction of what is Election Commission. We discussed about the organization and management of Election Commission. Then we discussed about the appointment and tenure of Election Commission, then removal, then powers and functions, and another important aspects of Election Commission. Then the last one is the election process. The election process is, as we all know, the election process is, now what do we understand by the election process? Now, when the elections are held, the dates, or when the elections are held, and what all the process which takes place is being termed as an election process. Right from the notification of conducting the elections, that is the dates of elections, that is, first a notification will be released by the Election Commission. Now, what will be that notification? That notification says that it tells that in the particular state or in a particular territory, or in a particular we can say in the central government, or to the Lok Sabha, then the elections have to be conducted. Then they will come out with a notification that there will be elections for this place or this state. And the eligible candidates and eligible political parties can file their nominations. Means the people who want to contest the elections to become a public representatives, then they have to file their nominations. They have to file their nominations and they have to go for contesting the elections. This is the first and foremost work of the Election Commission through in the election process. After that, it is the scheduling the elections. Scheduling the elections is the dates when they want to conduct the elections. The elections will not be conducted but in a daily basis. There will be a schedule will be released based on the population, constituencies, political party, everything will be taken into consideration. That is, if the state is having more number of population, more population, or if the state is largest one, or if the state is a more large, then the elections will be conducted in 2 phases or 3 phases. Or if the state is a small state, then elections will be conducted in 1 phase or 2 phases. That is, in some dates, the elections will be conducted. Then this is termed as the scheduling the elections. Then this dates are being given by the Election Commission only. Next important one in the Election Commission is issue of model code of conduct. Issue of model of code of conduct is when the election notification comes out, then and when the campaigning starts, when the dates come out, then no political party should get involved with the citizens. That is, they should not get associated with the citizens. That is, luring them with gifts or buying the voters, giving them, showing them some benefits. All these has to be stopped, and no political party should abuse another political party. These all are the mode of conduct. That is, if they violate this, then they are punishable under this rules of constitution. That is a issue of model conduct, code of conduct. Then third one is poll campaign. Poll campaign, the dates of the poll campaign. That is, the Election Commission will release the dates. That is, in these dates only, the campaigning of the people, the campaigning of the people who are contesting the elections. Now, what do you mean by campaigning? Campaigning is creating awareness or explaining the voters about the candidate who is contesting the elections and making the people aware and making them vote for that person to be elected as an MP or an MLA. So, poll campaigning. Now, this poll campaigning has to end before the 1 day before the polling date. That is, if the date is a day after, then today only they have to stop the campaigning. That is called as a poll campaign. Then the polling dates, as I told you, polling dates. Polling dates means on which dates the elections have to be held. That is, the voters should go and exercise their voting right. That is a polling date. Then ballot papers, voters process, voting process, that is ballot papers. We all know that previously we used to have ballot papers. Now we are having EVMs, electronic voting machines, where the voter casts his valuable vote. And the counting of these voters, votes and everything. And also the declaration of the candidates, the declaration of the winning candidates is also being done by the election commission only. So we can say that that is right. Now, this election commission conducts elections right from the president, means the president is also elected through the election commission only. That is right from the president, the prime minister, vice president, and the prime minister or the council, that is the general elections. then the state elections, all these are being conducted by the Election Commission only. So this is all about Election Commission. Now we will talk about the Unit 9 regulatory bodies or regulatory authorities. Now, what do we understand? Understand by the term regulatory authority. A regulatory authority, as we all know, it is well known that the functions of a government are laid down in the constitution of the country. That is, what are the functions of the government and how the government has to function. That is, we all know in the constitution, the working of the government, that is under the directive principles of state policy, in that the constitution has given some guidelines to the governments, how to function, how should the decision making should be. Everything has been addressed in that part of the constitution. Now, what is the need for the government to go with the constitution? Because as we know, every 5 years, we get new people in the constitution. We get new people in the in the government. That is, we get new people in the government. That is, once we get BJP, once we get Congress at the central level, and at the state level also, once we get a Congress, once we get the TR, that is, every 5 years we get a new political party. So to avoid taking decisions, that is, of whichever they want to or whatever they want to, just to avoid taking decisions on their own, and the constitution has framed laws whereby to abide them in following them and take decisions in the purview of the constitution only. So it is the responsibility of the government to follow the constitution and abide by the constitutional laws. So the Constitution of India has laid down the role and functions of the government. That is how the government has to function, and this functioning of the government has been done in the 3 layers, that is union, state, and at the local level. Now, these are the 3 layers of the government. Now, why do we need these 3 layers? Why? Because at the central government is at the center, whereby all the powers and functions or the decision making is vested with the center only. But as the country is very vast and it is very secular, and we have n number of religions, many political parties, many diversities are there. So it is very important for the people to take care of this functioning. So the center will be the ultimate authority. The center will be assisted by the states. The center will be assisted by the states in decision making. So the states will also be there in taking decisions. That is, the states also have their own independent bodies, but also they will be helping the center in taking care of the states, and the states are assisted by the local governments, that is the panchayats at the village level and the municipalities at the urban level or at the city level. So when there is a division of work, then everything, administration might go on in a smoother manner. So these are the 3 layers of government. Now, we can categorize the functions of the government into regulatory functions. Now, we have till now, we have discussed the 3 layers of government are there. That is union, state, and local. Now, these 3 have different functions to perform. That is, these functions can be divided into 3. That are regulatory functions, service providing functions, and developmental functions. So now we will be discussing about the regulatory functions. So now what are these regulatory functions? In order to enforce laws, the state creates a large number of organizations to enforce laws. The states or the central government goes with a number of, creates a large number of organizations which are charged with implementation of these laws. That is, the government, as we all know, the government cannot take care of all the things. It has to be helped by somebody. It has to be helped by somebody. So they have formed the regulatory bodies. They have formed the regulatory bodies which will be helping them, in conducting, in taking decisions and providing the government with best methods. So now we can say that now what is the need for these regulatory bodies? We can discuss the need in three important aspects. That is, the first one is prevention of market failures. Second is restriction or removal of anti-competitive practices. Third is promotion of public interest. Prevention of market failures. Prevention of market failures is now, for example, if there is nobody to take care of the market, nobody is there to take care of what is happening in the market. That is, how the buying and selling, what is the price of the goods in the market. Then can the market survive? No, it cannot survive, because everybody will come up with their own decisions and nobody wants to listen to their others' decisions. So there will be a chaos in the market, which might create a disturbance, and there will be a total failure of the market, which might lead to the economic loss of or economic lapses in the country. Hence, to regulate the market, to follow rules and regulations in the market, to abide by the rules and the laws which are being made by the government, these regulatory bodies take care of the market. The second important need for why these regulatory bodies are there. Second one is restriction and removal of anti-competitive practices. Anti-competitive, that is, what do we mean by anti-competitive? If there is no competition, only one person is there in the market and whatever he says everybody will follow, then there will be no scope for another person to go into the market to or to sell his goods in the market. So it will become a monarchical system whereby only one person is running the market. To avoid this, there should be a competitiveness. There should be an competitiveness. Hence, these regulatory bodies will give a space for this competitiveness. Then third one is promotion of public interest. Promotion of public interest, that is, whereby the interest of the public. Now, if the prices are too high, the common man may not be able to buy the products. Only the elite group will be buying them. Then the common man might not be able to survive in the market. So just to regulate the prices, to regulate the competition, to make the common man and standard of living a perfect one, to make a common man live in the society, there will be the public interest, that is what the public needs, what is the need of the public. These all problems have to be addressed. So there is a need for a regulatory body, we can say. Now coming to the types of these regulatory bodies or regulatory authorities. There are three types of regulatory authorities. First one is economic, second is regulation in public interest, third is environmental regulation. Economic regulation is whereby foreign trade, foreign exchange. Now, there should be a body which should take care of all these economic aspects. If there is nobody, then there will be no limit for foreign exchange, then there will be no foreign trade. Then whoever wants, they will buy everything. Then there will be no limitations. So these regulatory bodies help to have an eye on the system and working of the system. Then environmental regulations. Environmental regulations is how much land is there, how much resources are there, what is the importance of the resources, how these resources have to be used. Now, taking care of the environmental aspects, that is, what has to be addressed, when they have to be addressed, all this have to be taken care of. That is the environmental regulation. Now, when we talk about these all, we have a few of them who help the government to conduct or its administration in a smooth manner. That is, these are the independent regulatory bodies. So to name a few, the first and foremost independent regulatory body is the RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Now, we all know this Reserve Bank of India is an apex monetary institution. It is an apex monetary institution. That is, monetary means all the money regulations, that is, how the bank should work, the guidelines for the bank, and how the exchange should be, money exchange, foreign exchange should be there, what are the taxes, everything. These all will be decided by the RBI. This is an independent regulatory body which helps the government to regulate the economic standards, economic aspects of that is the money of the country. And this RBI was established on April 1st, 1935. And it helps, this RBI helps in monetary, that is in the money, new notes, introduction of new currency into the market, withdrawing the old currency from the market, circulating money in the market, giving guidelines to the banks about their interest rate, about how the banks should work, what are the guidelines should be forward, because the government cannot do everything. The government may not be able to do in a position to take care of everything. Hence, it is the responsibility of these regulatory bodies to take care of all these things. The second one is Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. Now, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, we all know BSNL or the Airtel, Jio, all these are the network companies which come under this regulatory body, Telecom Regulatory Body. That is, if a network company wants to start its own company, or when it wants to provide a network, to launch a network, then they have to take permission from this regulatory body, Telecom Regulatory Body, and under their guidelines, under their rules and regulations only, they have to establish their own network system. So we are now the Airtel, Jio, all these, everybody comes under this Telecom Regulatory Authority, whereby the guidelines for these all telecom companies will be issued by this Telecom Regulatory Authority only. And this regulatory body is established on 20th February 1997. The third important regulatory body, independent regulatory body, is Security and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, it is called as. That is Security and Exchange Board of India. It was established on 30th January 1992. Now, it takes care, what is the function of this SEBI? It takes care of the periodical returns from the stock exchange, or the credit card, the score of the people, how much score they have, if they have any loans, and if they did not pay the loans, then they will get a score in the SABI, whereby if they go for another loan, then it shows them that you are already a defaulter, so you will not be able to take a loan. So this all been regulated by the RBI only takes care of the economical aspects, that is monetary, circulating the money, introducing of the new currency, withdrawing the old currency, or foreign exchange, foreign bonds, managing the banks. All this is being done by the RBI. Now, SEBI takes care of the rules and regulations of the people for loans, that is, if a defaulter is there, if there is a new stock exchange, then everything, what all the economical aspects of the country, that if a company is not paying the loans, if it is become a defaulter, then these companies will be blacklisted and they will not be issued any loans in future. This all work will be done by the SEBI. So this is an independent regulatory body, we can say. So now this all regulatory authorities play a very, very important role in the administrative process. That is, they help the government in a smooth functioning, because each regulatory body takes their own system of working. That is, they take their own type of working. That is, they now RBI takes care of the banks, the money, the monetary issue, the foreign exchange, all this. Likewise, each regulatory body takes their individual responsibilities and duties and performs them without putting pressure on the government, because we know that the government has many, many important aspects to do, whereby taking care of the common man, taking care of the citizens, bilateral relations with other countries. So it is, now this is another, this is also a function. This is also an important function of the government. As I told you before, the functions of the government are of three. That is, first one is regulating function, second one is service providing function, third one is developmental function. So regulatory function is these regulatory bodies take care of the functions of the government. That is, the regulation, taking care of all the government duties and responsibilities. Service providing functions are, that is, we know that what are the basic facilities which are to be provided by the government. That are the service providing functions. Developmental functions are providing all the developmental activities that for the citizen, that is providing good policies, providing them giving them more benefits by the government, providing them schools or college. All these are the developmental functions, we can say, which are being given by the government. So these regulatory authorities play a very, very important role. So this is all about today's class, Unit 8 and 9, that is Election Commission and Regulatory Authorities. If you have any doubts, you can come up. So tomorrow, we'll try to finish the other topics. Okay then, thank you.